again, like parents who are not knowledgeable about Lego and they're just selling their kids old collections, which again, yeah, older sets that's where the value is. Star Wars from like 2015 or so. A lot of good sets there, and hopefully, the kids didn't bang them up too much. I found one like a neighbor who, the kids have grown up and left the house. He found in his closet, some sealed Lego sets that he just forgot about, bought them, like in June for Christmas, and then just forgot about them and, forgot to give the kids at Christmas time. So he's got those, and, he has no idea what they're worth. Like the Toys R Us sticker on the box says $49. So like, yeah, okay, fine. So he'll part with it for 40, even though, a sealed, so like I got one like the Torrent, the V19 Torrent set. I think a sealed set there is like $350, $400 easy, and I got it for $20. The parent just didn't know or didn't care, just trying to clear out the kid's room. But I'd say I like those real great deals. Like I'll only get like one or two of them a year. So they're definitely harder to come by. Whereas, I want to say during like the glory days of my collecting, like 2016 to 2020, those deals were almost everywhere. And if you knew where to look, and of course I regret it that I didn't buy up more back then, where I had less money, and I had no idea that. I thought Lego Star Wars was already expensive then. I had no idea that the prices would appreciate so much. So I mentioned kind of the pros and cons of these various sites, but so where I mostly buy from Lego retail these days, and if I want used sets, actually, shopgoodwill.com is kind of my go-to now. There's some really weird behavior on that site. It's a bidding site like eBay. I think it might be USA only, but I see people like bidding way too much for the value of some of these lots of Lego, and I think it could be, Goodwill employees or people working with Goodwill who are just trying to puff up the prices so they can make more profit. They claim they're like a nonprofit or a charity or whatever, but there's plenty of corruption at places like Goodwill and whatnot, unfortunately. But they do get awesome retired sets. I don't know where they get these from. People who just donate them to Goodwill and don't know what they have. Classic Pirates from like 1990, modulars, and of course Star Wars. But I see like I'll bid what I think is fair, and of course I'll get outbid, and then somebody else wins the listing. But then I'll see the exact same listing back on the site like a week later. So either that person didn't pay, or the Goodwill people were just trying to puff up the winning bid, but no real customers actually took it. So they just relisted it and waiting for the next sucker. I think it's pretty messed up. I don't have proof that this happens, but other Lego collectors I've spoken to online say this happens. So I think it's believable. So, but again, the good thing is like, there's a lot of listings there on Shop Goodwill. The search engine is not that good. So if you come across one of these like poorly described items and that don't get a lot of attention from the other buyers, you might be able to walk away with a deal. Excuse me a minute. That. Like, again, if there aren't a lot of good keywords, like, if it says Lego Star Wars, your chances are low. But if it's like a mixed set, like bulk Lego, that might be all they'll say. And, they'll just show one or two pictures of like a box, and all you can see is like the surface level of the bricks. If you zoom in and look pretty carefully, like I'll see like, ooh, there's a Commander Fox or something, or like, ooh, there's some sand green bricks there. Like very few sets use those. Like maybe there'll be a green grocer there or something, Statue of Liberty. So after being in this hobby for years and years, you start to have eye for value, and what sets are worth it. and and then you go for those. Yeah, I had one where they, they called the listing like Lego City line, because 80% of the bricks were city, but in there, like, I could also tell there was some Lego Star Wars and some figures, or oh yeah, I had like Pre Vizsla's Mandalorian Starfighter in there. So and with the Pre Vizsla figure, which is like $90 by itself. I won the whole thing for like $60, because Lego City line does not have much resale value at all. So people, the other collectors and speculators kind of ignored it. So things like that. It will. It takes a lot of patience. I strike out a lot, but it feels good when you get one of those wins. Another strategy also is like, you have finite funds and finite time, of course. So protect your funds and don't overspend. Don't go overboard for high risk sets. Like you might see one like a very desirable set that holy grail set for you or something. But if in the photos, you don't see minifigures, you're not quite sure how complete it is. Like, I see a lot of like incomplete, like UCS Slave One that are missing like the windscreen, which is like like a $60 piece by itself. So that will like take a lot of the value out of that set if you buy it, and now you've like wasted your money. And reselling a set like that is really hard. Other serious collectors won't bother. Or you buy a set and then it turns out the minifigures have cracks in them or damage. That's a real bummer. Like places like Shop Goodwill, they have a limited number of photos, and if you ask for more photos, they're like, sorry, we all these lots are like packed up in a warehouse. We took photos a long time ago, and that's that. So I have took a chance and tried to buy sets that and then they turned out to be duds. So it's like gambling a little bit. You win some, you lose some, but overall, or like picking stocks, you hope that you just pick a lot more winners than losers. So net you come out ahead in the end. But yeah, so that's what I have. You've seen, right? Like I have a pretty big Lego Star Wars collection. Like I'm not looking for a lot of more sets anymore to collect, but I am looking for these deals where I can, kind of like arbitrage. I can, if I see they're undervalued, I buy them and then I can resell them for a higher price, and now I have a little more money in my pocket for the next time, when Lego drops a new UCS set that I want. So. I know that was a lot, but this is kind of my collective wisdom over like 15 years in the hobby. I hope, maybe some of this resonates with you, or you do it already. Feel free to leave comments for any advice that I might have missed. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you next time. May the force be with you.